Hello everyone. All hope in a very wonderful, great day indeed, guys. As you can see, guys, it is completely cloudy, so it might also exactly begin to rain as well. Despite that, guys, I'm so superly grateful for your support in watching my videos and episodes from TikTok and also from YouTube and from shorts and from long videos as well. May God bless you and may God bless you and may He keep you safe and may He also stay with you in everything else that you're also exactly and then everything else that you guys are also doing. And also, guys, I love you all completely so much. Have a blessed day and have a great day indeed. On today's episode, we're to speak about a super villain and a descendant of the darkest family of the formation unto of the darkest family, known as Ray Darkest, who is a supervillain and a member of a secret of an ancient secret society of super villains known as the Founders, with the sole goal and purpose to remain the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of the sacred universe and of the sacred world and of the rest of the known universe and of the rest of humanity as well in a process. Nevertheless, Ray Darkest is very ambitious, ruthless, cruel in nature, as he has conquered many known worlds and planets throughout the rest of the sacred world's history. He is revered to be an ancient myth and a very powerful, deadly, dark formation hunter who is feared for his dark abilities and also for his greatest dark powers as well. So let's begin. In rare, in rain, in actually in Ryan Darkest's early life, he was exactly a descendant of the darkest formation hunter family. Despite that, he wasn't exactly close up with his relatives, with the rest of his other relatives of the darkest family of the Four Nation Hunter during that time, and he exactly decided to depart from the family's ongoing mission and also purpose as well in order to pursue his own goal and his own everlasting goal as well in the process. Where Ryan Darkest began conquering 10,000 worlds and planets in a matter of one fell swoop with an army of formidable dark Four Nation hunters who exactly decided to aid him in his respective conquests. He conquered those 10,000 known worlds and planets and placed them under his sole control, and as well as the sacred worlds, which he placed them under his sole control. The inhabitants exactly decided to build and create and modify the sacred worlds and cities and planets that Ryan Darkest has managed to conquer, and they've decided to build and create a statue of him as an honor to honor him as a greatest formidable savior as well. Over the following years, Ryan Darkest has been mentioned throughout sacred history, as well as his origin, him being the descendant, him being the direct descendant of the darkest family of the Four Nation Hunters of the darkest family that were part of the ancient, formidable superhero Four Nation Hunter legacy of an ancient team known as the Alliance, and that his remainable ancient ancestor known as a father of all, or known as a father of the darkest family of the Four Nation Hunter, who has still been able to remain actively alive for the throughout the following centuries and throughout an ancient time, known as Dark Grey, who is a father of all of the darkest family, and who's also the founder and leader of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, who is actively alive. Ryan Darkest knew that Dark Grey was the father of the darkest Four Nation Hunter family, and that he's actually still actively alive, and that he also exactly knew that Dark Grey formed his ancient secret society during ancient times and also during the following centuries in many centuries ago as well. Nevertheless, Ryan Darkest began pursuing his own goals and his own mission as well. Regardless of the other point, Ryan Darkness has managed to conquer thousands of known worlds and planets throughout the known universes in fighting aliens, pirates, witches, druids, vampires, werewolves, all the supernaturals and aliens and superhumans across the known magical worlds and throughout the supernatural worlds and throughout the sacred worlds and throughout the alien worlds. He managed to regardlessly remain victorious in conquering those worlds, and his reputation he's managed to create a reputation of fear and of great darkness, renaming him as the dark figure, as the mythical dark figure of the darkest family and of the most powerful, formidable, deadliest dark formation hunters throughout sacred history as well. Due to his long gravity and due to his intelligence, Ray Darkest decided to use his influence and his connections and his resources to start mobilizing and creating an army that will soon be suitable for his glory and for his greater missions as well. Over the course of the many years of the modern centuries that I'm able to exactly to be rebrought back and to be able to revived in a very causal way. Ryan Dark has remained in an ancient, powerful dark crystal temple that is quietly within the alien worlds and civilization, and it is also quietly well hidden and well protected by a dark, magical, mystical bearer that can easily project a powerful invisible dark magical bearer of dark magic known to be rumored as a magical dark climber, which can also keep it hidden and concealed from outsiders and also invaders. Ray remained in the darkest in Ray Darkest remained in the Dark Crystal Temple for many years until Dark Gray exactly approached him with an intriguing offer and with an intriguing proposition, which he could also aid Ray Darkest in his respective conquest and his respective mission if Ray Darkness agreed to become a parting member of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, to help him complete its goal and mission and long-term goals for soul conquest and for soul control and for soul domination over humanity, the sacred world, the Four Nation Hunters, and the known universe and the rest of the sacred universe in the process to further the ultimate plans for soul domination and for universal domination and as well as for world domination to make sure that they remain the sole rulers of the cosmos. Regardless of the less, Ryan Darkest gladly accepted the proposition to join forces with Dark Gray's greatest ancient secret society and shadowy organization known as the Founders to help it further its goals and mission. And despite that, Ryan Darkest knew that he needed the resources of the members of the founders in order for them to actually help him with these goals and with these common interests as well, which could also benefit him in numerous ways. Regardless of the less, Ryan Darkest decided in order to share his resources and with his ultimate influence and connection to the founders and as well to the founder and leader of the secret society, of the ancient secret society known as the Founders, to the founder and leader of the organization known as Dark Gray and the Dark King, to making sure that they are fully associated with one another and that they remain associated to one another and that they will forever remain associated to one another. Despite this, Ryan Darkest shook hands with Dark Gray, remarked of their partnership, that stated to them that he will be glad to join forces with his greatest ancient ancestor who was revered to be dead or rather to be alive or rumored to be alive throughout sacred history, who has formed his ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Founders. Dark Gray was reluctantly pleased as the two duo shook hands and remarked of their partnership as a past descendant and as a new generation of the darkest Four-Nation Hunter family, of the darkest Four-Nation Hunter family generation as well, shook hands with the old ancient ancestry of the darkest family of the Four-Nation Hunters as well, remarking each other's partnership as well. On the 9th of January, the Shadow Empire warlord held up a video conference with the members of the Founders, and Ray Darkest was quietly present in a video conference with the members of the Founders, where the Dark King exactly reassured the Shadow Empire warlord and commander that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, despite the interruptions of the Universal Heroes, that the successful plans and of their goal will successfully exactly bear fruit as well. And Rare Darkness was very quietly convinced about that, as he was remarkably happy about that as well. On the 10th of on the 10th of January, the Dark Druid exactly held up a video audience, a video audience with the members of the founders, where he completely exactly told the members of the founders that all the great technology and everything else that they managed to easily isolate were completely exactly stolen and destroyed during the transportation of the Park News delivery system. Regardless of the less, Queen Ivy reassured the dark magic user that they will actually receive more technology that will destroy the Universal Heroes and the rest of their teammates and put them down for good. And Ray Darkest was completely part of the video audience as well at that time. On the 15th of February, on the 15th of January, on the 15th of, excuse me, on the 15th of January, Ghostmaster Exalty held up a video conference, held up a video audience with the members of the founders, where he completely exactly told them that he was only able to salvage a piece of the shadow energy chemical that it was able to only that it was able to that it was only able to that it was only able to obtain during the delivery of the shipments, and stated to the members of the founders that the Universal Heroes have greatly interfered with the operation and with their latest plans and with their goal. Regardless of the less, Ray Darkest was quietly part of the video audience, as he exactly heard as the Dark King stated that the Universal Heroes are now hereby enemies, and that they considered to be taken, not to be taken lightly at all. Meaning, in other words, not completely lightly at all, completely. On the 15th of January, on the 15th of February, when another power vacuum of the Shadow Empire began to be created due to the disappearance of the Universal Heroes who are fighting an ancient force of evil on the other side of the known universe. This time, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders saw allegiances to themselves as they form their own formidable factions, while the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders joined forces with the intergalactic coalition, while the other members exactly continue to supply the ancient secret society of supervillains with more destructive and compatible technology as part of their deal with the other ancient secret societies of supervillains, such as the founders, who promised them to actually give them more worlds and more planets that are under their control and under their influence, which was also part of their deal as well. On that day, Green Man on that day, Black Sport exactly held up a video audience with the members of the founders, where he completely told them that the Universal Heroes have completely thwarted his operation and also his plans in securing the last batch of the crystal of the blue crystal, which they were completely able to destroy. Regardless of the other members of the founders exactly told Black Sport that he did exactly as planned, and everything else is going according to plan, the way it was meant to go down, regardless of the disappointment. And Rare Darkest was quietly part of the video audience as well on that day. On the 29th of February, the members of the founders held up another video audience as a dark druid exactly held up another video audience with the members of the founders, where he was able to exactly tell them that all the plans and everything else has been laid out the way it's supposed to be, and that the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have decided to supply them with more destructive and more compatible technology as part of their deal and as part of the agreement as well. Regardless of the last, the members of the founders were completely happy as the Dark King exactly told the Dark Druid that he'd done exactly as he predicted and as the way it was meant to go down. Regardless, either way, Ray Darkest was quietly part of the video audience, as he was very remarkably pleased now to see that everything is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be as well. On the On the 15th of March, the members of the founders held up a video audience when Ghostmaster and another supervillain presented a piece of the regenerative blue crystal that was quietly blown up during the explosion when Blacksport was trying to actually retrieve it from the underwater kingdoms of the water hero worlds and planets when he was in battle with them, and stated to them and also stated to them and also stated to them and also stated to the and also stated them and also stated to them that the regenerative crystal has begun its regenerative healing process, and that it's time for them to actually begin their full operation and their full goals as well, and their full goals and their full successful plans as well in the process, no matter the circumstances as well. Despite that, and Ray Dawkins was part of the video audience as well on that time as well. On the 15th of May, the founders staged a raid on the Shadow Empire, facility as Ray Dawkins was part of that raid, was part of the raid, as well as the members of the founders took every incredible genetic cryo freeze hibernation stasis part of all the dark and magical experiments of supernatural soldiers and creatures and beings who are all remaining in hyper sleep for more than a century, and for more than a decade as well. Master Born exactly stated to the members of the founders that these stasis genetic freeze cryopods and the rest of the army that were quietly trapped inside them will be very useful for them in order for them to begin furthering their plans and their goals. And Red Darkus was part of the raid as well on that time as well. On the 15th of April, on the 9th of April, the Dark King held up a video conference with Blacksport as he completely congratulated him with the members of the founders, and Red Darkus was present during the video conference as the Dark King completely congratulated Blacksport in his great work and his great mission, stated to him that he has done a very brilliant task and a very great mission, and the organization is successfully pleased with them and very, very happy that things are finally going to plan the way they intended to be as well. On the 15th of April, Ray Dawkins was quietly present in an audience which he arbitrated with the members of the founders, where Ghostmaster exactly expressed his disgust and his place in the organization, stated how his old masters have treated him, and he decided in order to kill them and wipe them out due to the intervention of the new enforcer of the organization known as Windmaster, who saved the Dark King and the present member of the organization, and Ghostmaster completely defected from the organization, and the new enforcer was quietly renamed as Windmaster as well at that time. On the 15th of June, on the actual 15th of June, Ray Dawkins began exactly activating his next stages of his plan when the dark magic users of the dark druids and of the dark witches and the dark faithful began exactly converging themselves with the most powerful dark ancient crystal by using a dark magic altogether, and by infusing it with more power and with more dark energy than ever before. Regardless of the less, Ray Dawkins began to discover a powerful portion of dark and unlimited darkest, purest, unreformed shadow energy in the most darkest form that has been quietly combined and infused with dark monsters and in dark entities and creatures with beings that are far more ancient and far more superior than anything else ever before. Regardless of the less, Ray Dawkins wanted to infuse himself with those creatures and with those power in order to discover his greatest dark abilities and powers at the expense of his serenity and his humanity. And he was so obsessed with infusing himself, as he told the dark magic users that the time will come for him to infuse himself, as he told his followers, in order to make sure that this dark, purest, and uncontaminated ultimate darkest form of shadow energy infused with the dark entities and its darkest and unlimited darkest form must not be touched or be tapped in. It must be taken directly to the secret laboratory for further studying and for further power. For when the time comes, he will gladly infuse himself with it when the time is right. The dark druids and the dark witches and the dark faithful successfully agreed with Ray Darkest, and that is exactly what they're willing to do in order to follow his orders on the asteroid base, on the actual asteroid base. That's where they were all exactly currently meeting up as well. On the 15th of July, on the actual 15th of July, Red Darkest began his true plans and true modification as he was busy as he created a huge holographic hologram of all the worlds and of all the planets he was about to conquer and also begin to fully conquering as he met up with the engineers and with the mechanists who built up his highly modified advanced highly battle airship fleets and battle cruisers and war balloons that are quite ready to begin invading other worlds and other planets and other star systems of the sacred universe in the process, as he told his armies and his followers that they are ready to begin their final plan and their final goal and to take it in full action and in full cooperation as well, as the followers were all very eager to complete the task at hand as well. On the 20th of August, where Darkest exactly began to discover his darkest and greatest ability was to conjure a shadowy figure of a person which was able to exactly conduct on his own, which was able to exactly create on his own, as he discovered that this shadowy monstery figure could remain as his personal bodyguard, as this creature had the power and the ability to remain on the mortal plane and on the mortal realm for permanently and for everything else. And he also discovered that he had the greatest ability and darkest ability to teleport himself in whatever way he can possibly exactly do so. And he also discovered that he had the ability of converging and synchronizing energy and science all together to creating powerful, destructive weapons at will, which was so very gratefully impressed of as well at the time, which was able to do this in his secretive headquarters of an ancient dark crystal temple that is quietly hidden inside the sacred magical worlds and planets where he was able to operate from as well. On the 15th of September, the founders exactly reconvened on an ancient dark crystal temple, which was another a base of the operation, and where Darkest was quietly present during the meeting, as Queen Ivy asked the Dark King, is everything else quietly in place for the plan to successfully begin taking place. The Dark King reassured Queen Ivy that everything else is successfully in place for their plans to gladly take place, and that everything else will gladly go according to plan the way it's supposed to be, as Queen Ivy was gladly reassured of that. On the 16th of September, on the actual 16th of September, the members of the founders reconvene again, as this time the members of the founders begin to exactly examine the recent events, stated to them that the universal heroes can never be underestimated, as well as the world heroes or the universal earth heroes, that they're too powerful and their abilities in dotting in operation and their future plans and their goals can never again happen again, as well as Dark Grey completely agreed that the universal heroes pose a greater magnificent threat to their goals and to their plans that can never be taken lightly, as they were forced to learn the hard way. Regardless of the last, elderly Granny exactly revealed herself, as she exactly reassured the members of the founders that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, and the plan has been put in place, that all that needs to happen is that the universal heroes and the universal earth heroes, the water heroes and the fire heroes and the world heroes will be gratefully be exterminated and be gladly to be taken by, as Red Darkest was pretty damnly reassured of that as well. On the 29th of October, where Darkest exactly entered throughout his secret private laboratory as the Dark magic users were completely secretly meditating as he decided to join them on their secret meditation, where he discovered more forbidden dark power and dark energy than ever before, as he was reluctantly completely impressed with himself as well. On the 20th of November, Ray Darkest and a group of dark magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful decided to besiege the entire intergalactic coalition and the Four Nation Hunters' secret base of operation within the ancient magical temples, that are completely filled with ancient statues of powerful mythical fairies and witches and druids and known ancient dark threats that ever lived during in ancient times, where the battle of good and evil was exactly precisely waged on, and where it exactly got to go on. Ray Darkest was completely above the skies as he waited on top of his dark magical crystal, exactly levitating on his dark magical crystal, as he watched as his followers besieged the entire base, and the fairies and the Four Nation Hunters and the rest of the intergalactic coalition of the Four Nation Hunters continued to exactly fighting up against the forces of evil. And Ray Darkest decided to unleash his dark power and his dark abilities of a dark and purple lightning of dark magic, which he also besieged the Four Nation Hunters due to the intervention of the Universal Founders and the Universal Magic Heroes and Universal Magical, who came just in the nick of time to save the Four Nation Hunters and the Intergalactic Coalition before they were completely exterminated and to be wiped out. They exactly gained the upper hand and completely successfully decimated the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful in the process, and in completely taking them down permanently. Ray Darkest and the rest of his other followers were forced to retreat as the rest of them completely retreat. But before they can exactly teleport themselves and retreat, Ray Darkest decided it's best to leave a parting gift for the Intergalactic Coalition and the Four Nation Hunters and the Universal Founders and the Universal Magic Heroes with a little destructive dark magical crystal bomb, which he decided to put in place in action, which began destroying the grounds of the ancient magical temples and villages and the base itself. Universal Magica was able to use her newfound ability of light magic in order to counteract the dark magical crystal's powers and ability before it completely decimated the entire magical world and planet, and before it was completely destroyed in the process, and they were able to save it in the process. Ray Darkest completely disappeared, and again he was never actually seen or heard from the battle that exactly took place in the 15 on the 20th of November as well. On the 28th of December, Ray Darkest exactly reconvened with the dark magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful on another ancient crystal dark temple, where this time Ray Darkest told the dark magic users it's time for them to begin the ritual, infusing him with dark shadow energy and with the power of the dark entities that are quietly infused with it. The Dark Druid, one of his dark followers, exactly tried to warn him of the risk and of the powers and of the great immortality he could exactly extremely possess. Ray Darkest exactly told the Dark Druid that he completely appreciated his concern, but he has to proceed with this in order to take out the obstacles that are literally intervening on his future plans and on his goals, and that he has no other way but to take the directive extreme approach. Regardless of the less, the dark magic users followed his every command as they began to prepare the infusion dark magic ritual with Ray Darkest, to binding him and infusing him with shadow energy that is completely infused with the dark monsters known as the dark entities that were completely combined with one another. As Ray Darkest completely infused himself with the power of the shadow energy and with the power of the dark entities infused with them that are fully successfully emerged with one another, he successfully emerged himself with one another and infused himself with the energy that is completely bonded to the dark entities as he became more powerful and more greater and more very, very dark and ancient and very evil as well. His eyes began to glow, a purple glow of power, a purple glow of greater power, a purple glow of greater power. as he was began to be truly happy, as was able to take the life force, as was able to begin to take the life force of the dark magic user or one of his follower known as a dark faithful. With one touch of his fingers, the life force began to drain from the dark magic users as Ray Darkest began to exactly tell himself that he was completely underestimating his ability, that his power has now begun to triple in a very, very dark and mysterious way, and that he was very successfully happy that he has made greater progress with that as well. On the 15th of January, Ray Dawkins exactly attended a video conference of the members of the founders, where the Dark King completely exactly reassured the members of the founders that everything else will be going according to plan, the way it's supposed to be, and that everything else is settled for the next phase of a plan, and that everything else will be going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, regardless of the interruptions of the universal heroes and of their plans and everything else. They will still exactly escalate and they'll still fall according to plan, the way they intended to be. Regardless of the less, Ray Dawkins was completely reassured as he believed in it, as he believed in the Dark King's reassurance, as the rest of the members also believed in the Dark King's reassurance, and they were quietly reassured that everything else would gladly exactly take place as well. On the 15th of February, Ray Dawkins attended a video conference with the members of the founders again, where the Dark King exactly told the members of the founders that their plans have now begun to take place, meaning, in other words, everything is about to go the way it's intended to be, meaning successfully about to fall in order the way it's supposed to be. As Dark Gray exactly told the members of the founders that the game has been set into motion, and all that remains is for the pawns for them to play their rightful places, and for them to take their rightful places. Then they'll remain the sole rulers of the cosmos for eternity, to further their ultimate goals and plans for universal domination and for world domination and for sole control over the known universe and the rest of the sacred universe and of the rest of the sacred world in the process as well. They remain the sole rulers of the cosmos, and Ray Dawkins was successfully pleased with that, meaning that now things are going according to plan, the way they intended to be as well. On the 29th of March, Ray Dawkins exactly met up with the dark magic users on another powerful dark crystal world and planet that was quietly ravaged by ancient dark magical wars and battle that took place during ancient times. And this time he exactly told them that their true plan and goal is about to be fully aligned, and that their ultimate goal and purpose now is to fully exterminate the universal founders and the universal magic heroes and universal magical permanently. They become nothing but a deadly obstacle, and that they must be removed and wiped out for good. The dark magic users completely agree with Ray Darkest, and that how are they going to complete that is for them to obtain the dark energy spell ultimate power. And Ray Darkest told them that that quest is about to begin to finding it and to using it against his forbidden enemies and to put them down permanently. The dark magic users agreed, and that they'll begin the search right away. And Ray Darkest was very overconfident that he will find the dark energy spell ultimate power and use its great dark power for himself and for his followers to make sure that the goals of the organization successfully bear fruit, no matter what the outcome is, and that he will not allow his enemies to completely ruin or intervene on his plans and on the goals of the founders as well in the process. Despite this, guys, Ray Darkest is completely very much ambitious, ruthless, cruel, and very heartless member, and a very heartless member of the ancient secret society, known as the Founders. He believes in the organization's goals and purpose and mission, and is willing to make sure that they gladly exactly take place. He has a huge army of dark formation hunters who exactly follow him, and follow his every order that he actually gives. And he has another army and a group of dark, mysterious followers who follow him as well, as he leads them with greatness and with great authority and with great respect, known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, who they exactly follow him with greatness, and they completely believe him, as they completely believe him, as they completely actually actually believe in him, as they actually view him as a dark savior who was destined to actually lead them. Regardless of the less, Ray Darkest is actually mentioned to be known as an ancient dark mythical formation hunter who is known to be a mysterious force of evil who has done nothing but create havoc and chaos throughout sacred history for all eternity in order to benefit himself and in order to benefit himself and the rest of his goals and the rest of his goals for universal domination. Despite this, and due to his own gravity, Ray Darkest believes that he is destined to conquer the 10,000 worlds and planets of the sacred universe and of the sacred world, and is willing to wipe out the Four Nation Hunters in the process to make sure that goal successfully exactly bears fruit as well. He's extremely immortal, very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, marksmanship, tactician, strategist. He's a very skillful tactician, strategist, very intelligent, very resourceful, very ruthless, cruel in nature, and very skillful in opening portals, extracting shadow energy and infusing himself with it, also with the power of bonding himself with shadow energy and the power of mind control, telekinesis, telepathic, creating powerful psychic links in order to share with these enemies and with these heroes in order to exactly find out what they actually are up to and what they exactly are planning from behind the scenes. He's completely merciless and very dark and very mysterious. He's a member and a descendant of the darkest Four Nation Hunter, of the darkest Four Nation Hunter clan family that has lived for centuries and also during in ancient times in the sacred world, being part of the ancient superhero group known as the Alliance that was quietly formed and reformed by the original Lord of Magic many centuries ago, and especially during in ancient times as well. He maintains his usual basis of operations, such as his central headquarters as well, that is quietly to be rumored to be known as an ancient dark crystal temple that's quietly exactly hidden and protected by powerful dark magical spell that is quietly protected by dark magical spell in order to keep its base of operation very successfully hidden in order for him to exactly operate from. Regardless of the less, he has powerful ultimate resources that are gratefully at his disposal, and he's willing to exactly utilize them in order to further his goals and his mission as well. He has conquered 10,000 worlds and planets and numerous known worlds and planets throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe, and he's known to Four Nation Hunter history that he's one of the darkest and most powerful members, granted with the darkest and most powerful formidable ability of conjuring up a powerful shadowy figure of a man who's exactly standing by his side and always protecting him, who's rumored to be a powerful monster of a bodyguard who's always watching him, which Ray Darkest was able to do, something that his descendants and his past ancestors weren't able to do, to conjuring up a figure of a shadowy monster that is standing by his side and always protecting him at all costs, which was able to project and create. He also has the greatest and most powerful ability of all, to astral project and to also to see things from a far distance, and the power and the ability to sense and also to converge dark magic and dark crystals and powers and abilities as well at very much quietly at will as well in order to activate their powers and their greatest ability. Despite that, he's very intelligent, very ruthless, cruel, merciless, very ambitious due to his own gravity and due to his immortality. He believes he's very destined in order to conquer and rule the sacred worlds and the sacred planets of the sacred universe as well, in which he's been willing to do. He learns the hard way to never again underestimate the universal magic heroes and the universal founders' abilities in thwarting his operation and his plans and his future plans and goals, and of the organization's goals and of the secret society's goals known as the founders, which are very important to him, and which are very inevitable for them to actually take place, because he can also benefit as well. He's a very well devoted member and a trustworthy member of the organization and of the ancient secret society of supervillains known as the founders, willing to make sure that the goals of the ancient shadowy organization successfully bears fruit for the members and himself to become the remaining rulers of the cosmos, even if it means removing the top competitors out of the game. The new Lord of Magic, the Order of the Five, Lord Clay, and the other rest, and the Universal Prince and the Star Prince out of the game, and by disabling them out of power, and by using the universal heroes and the universal magic heroes and the universal founders and the universal monster heroes and the intergalactic coalition and the Four Nation Hunters as pawns to further their plans and their ultimate goals in the process. He's completely intelligent, very reliable, having a huge army of powerful dark Four Nation Hunters at his command, and a huge fleet of warships, battle cruisers, hot air balloons and airship fleet and highly advanced airship fleet, and also battleships under his sole control, and a group of wild, dark, mysterious magic users of followers who follow him at his every command as well, known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful and the Dark Druids who follow him at every command, and who is revered to them as the Dark mythical savior as well. According to sacred history, Red Darkest is to be revered as a dark mythical being and a very ancient dark being that does nothing but ravage and destroy and conquer worlds, planets, and civilization throughout the sacred universe. And according to the Four Nation Hunters, Red Darkest is very ambitious and totally ruthless and very merciless, especially when it comes to his mission and to his purpose and to his goal. He has a powerful philosophy and a powerful creed, which is managed to able to create and forge on his own, and he's managed to exactly forge his path and his destiny on his own. Despite to do that, the Four Nation Hunters and the other great hunters of the sacred world fear Rare Darkest because of his darkest ability and because of his powers and because of his greatest ability, and they know very well that he's a very powerful, formidable adversary and a foe who can never be taken lightly. He's a very mysterious, ancient descendant of the darkest Four Nation Hunter family, and he's very mysterious as well. Also very quietly a super strategist and a super tactician, informing powerful alliances with powerful criminals in order for them to utilize their resources for his ultimate goals and for his ultimate plans. A very well devoted member of the founders who truly believes in their goals and in their plans as well. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I'll actually see you tomorrow as well at the exact same time. Have a wonderful day and have a great blessed day indeed. Love and appreciate your support. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and stay safe and stay happy and stay blessed. May God bless you all. Bye. Bye.